What's up, Vanguardians? This is Jonathan SP Mindham here with a very, again, different kind of video. I am going to be doing a set review. I haven't done one of these before, and I really feel like this is a good time to start because the set I want to review is coming out in Japan in 2 days. If you're watching this, it's 5/27. On May 29th, they'll be getting the set. We'll be getting it July 10th here in the States, and I just found the set to be really fascinating. As you can see on my screen, it shows the name Seve. It's coming out, like I said, in July for us, but we already have all the set. We already know everything. The clans in it: Link Joker, Shadow Paladin, Gold Paladin, Murakumo, Dark Regulars, Kagero, and of course, Cray Elementals. So I want to quickly go through as much of this as possible, as quickly as possible. I really hate doing the long videos, but kind of giving my quick synopsis of the set. And we're going to start out right with we're going to go down the list. We're going to do Phantom Blaster Dragon. And then here we got Phantom Blaster Dragon, of course. This is the new break ride, as we saw 2 weeks ago, I believe, or a week or two. It's very simple. It's the new break ride, Phantom Blaster, so you can only run 4 of this guy in your deck. So that means the old one, the new one, just this guy. When you break ride, you get to Soul Blast 3. You choose your Vanguard, it gets the following effect. Then it gets to choose 3 of your rear guards, retire them. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do, draw 2 cards, choose 3 of your cards from your damage zone, and turn them face up. And until the end of that battle, your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards. And then when you ride them, you get to choose one of your rear guards and retire it, and then get to call, or basically search your deck for a blaster and its card name. So you basically, what this card works really beautiful with is PBO, Phantom Blaster Overlord. Basically, it costs Counterblast 3, you ditch card of PBO, and it gains a crit in 10,000. Same situation kind of here, where this is now you're fulfilling your costs for free, and you're soul blasting, and you're getting a crit. So you're getting a 2 crit Vanguard with no grade 1s or higher. So it really is causing a lot of, what is it, like 41,000 or something like that, significant numbers, and you get to search out that stuff. So this is a great card. I think this is going to be around for a while. I think his ability is going to be really sought after and used, just because it gives some life to the old stuff. People talk about Gust Blaster Dragon. Hey, I don't feel it is good. You're removing your win condition, and I like consistency over trying to just make one big attack go through. And we'll go to the next one, which is the other generation rare of the set. And this is one of my all-time favorites. When this card was released, people were like freaking out saying it was bad, but it's really good for what you can get, guys. So this is a stride card. So when you stride, you Counterblast 1. This unit attacks a Vanguard. You can pay the cost. If you do, choose the number of locked cards, unlock them. This unit gets 3,000 for each of the unlocked cards until the end of battle. The number of cards with 3 or more, this unit gets a critical until the end of battle. So good, because that's all Link Joker do is lock cards, whether it be your opponent's or yours. You're locking, everyone's locking. It's so easy to lock cards, it's not even funny anymore. And of course, when you attack, you then unlock those cards, you get the power, you get the crit, and most of the times when you're unlocking units, you get effects, and it's all for a counterblast. Like, you're getting effects for free, and free is good. Like, everyone should love free. Like, this card is beautiful. It's just kind of where it needs to be. Link Joker needed something like that because it's not counterblast heavy, and again, it's very threatening to always have this. You don't even have to unflip it damage. Like, I think it's the best generation rare that we've seen so far released out of anything so far from the normal boosters. Go to the next one. Shadow Paladin card. This card I've seen in action on Monday Night Wars. It's really good. This is their Persona flip one, but it's not. You Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose a card named Souvenir Black Dragon from your G zone, turn it face up, and choose 2 of your rear guards and retire them. This unit attacks a Vanguard and pay the cost to do. Reveal 2 cards on the top of your deck. This unit gets 5,000 for every grade 1 or less field, and until the end of the turn. Put the reveal cards into your hand. So basically, you're getting 3+2. You're getting a total of like 5 drive techs essentially, but you're only getting really 3 of them that actually matter. But still, gaining the power is like a trigger. So, really depends. It's really good. Definitely a thing to be recognized with. I've seen it. It's really good for shadows. They get a lot of advantage again for just gaining card momentum for retiring units. And again, a stride. Another Shadow Paladin, Claret, Sword Dragon, This is their grade 3 basic. Generation 2. Their Generation 2 skill is choose 2 rearguards, retire them. This unit gets 10,000 to crit. Kind of like that norm for Shadow Paladins. I kind of went back to the traditional feel. I really like this card just for its secondary ability, or its generation break ability. But its main ability, when you stride over it during your turn, when junior unit strides, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck up to one grade 1 or less card. Call it. Not entirely bad. Like, they definitely have a lot of combos. Like, this would be great with Swordbreaker. You get the +1 again off of it, and it becomes an AK booster. So, like, there's potential there, and also helps set up your field a little bit more. So when you go crazy stacky for a lot of the Shadow Paladin cards, that helps set it up. So, like this one a lot. I can't wait to see the SP, because the art is just beautiful. Moving right along, we're going to go into Gold Paladin. Golden Dragon, Spear Cross Dragon. Gold Paladins kind of went weird. Like, they went to this whole defensive thing, and they went then to, like, this whole, like, superior calling. But, like, when you read this is Counterblast 2, which is a huge cost. Choose a card named Gold Dragon, flip it, turn it up, blah, blah, blah. When choose placed in the Vanguard circle, your number of face-up cards in your genus is 1 or more. You pay the cost. If you do, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck and search up to 1 card from among them for each face-up card in your G zone. Call them separate open rear guards. So, like, if you have a field wipe, like, calling this guy late helps reset that. But again, you look at the top 5 cards for each of the. So if you look at the 5 cards and you have, say, 3 face-up, you get to call 3 from the top 5. So it's very. It's not. I mean, like, again, you never know what you're going to get from the top 5. So, like, this effect to me, unless they have things that just go off a lot, like, you know, like when something's called, which we'll see a little bit later, it just, to me, it's not the greatest stride unit. It's not an end game for any crazy amount of, in my mind. Like, you have a lot going on there. Just the effect itself. I mean, if it was like once this unit is placed, and you kept doing it, like you kept looking at the top 5, if you do look at the search 1 card from among them for each, yeah. So you really don't get the whole advantage of it. So, like, I don't know. I think there could be better, but it works with some decks, like a lot. Gold Paladin Triple R. Knight of the Rising Sunshine. This is the one they made the sleeves out of. Generation Break 2, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 at the beginning of your guard step. Now this is cool. They go to the guard aspect of it all, and the unit is being attacked and you pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, search 1 card among them, call it to the Guardian Circle as rest, and shuffle your deck. So, it really helps with the guarding phase. So if you don't have something in your hand and you have Counterblast and Soul Blast, this is perfect. It helps alleviate that. You can look at the top 4 cards. So again, I believe, I don't remember perfect guard. I think it's from your hand, but it definitely helps. It definitely is a good card for defense, which is great. Like, I think that's awesome that they did that with their mechanic. Counterblast 1, during your turn, when your G unit strides, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, search for 1 card from among them, call it to rear guard, shuffle your deck, and that unit gets 2,000. Now that's pretty good. Like, that's a good effect for them overall, because you're looking at the top 4, you're getting a call unit, so if you need something, the 3 or 4, or 3, a 2, and a 1, you got it, you know. Or if you see a 0 that has an effect, use it. Like, that's awesome, and it gets power. I think this card is going to be kind of decent. Unpredictable, just because its Generation Break 2 skill is just kind of out there. Mustafa! Say it again. Mustafa! Ooh, say it again. Mustafa! This card, Kagro, I don't know why they got any support in this set. I really don't. Like, they got this stride unit that says once per turn, Counterblast 1, choose a face down card from your G zone, turn face up. So it does not have to be a copy of itself. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, choose one of your units, for each face-up card named Divine Dragon Knight, Mustafa in your G zone, and until the end turn, they get, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose a card from your Damage zone and turn it face up. So you can give that effect to any unit, anything on the field, and it gets the effect. So for each face up, it allows you to do that. So, a lot of setup there. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it. Choose one of your units' face-up card for each. So, you know, like when you write them the second time, if you use it, you can get rid of 3. Or 3 times, 3 units get that effect. I don't know. Could have been better. The Kagero clan really is just... But when it comes to Stride meta, they haven't been doing crazy with it. Here we go. Murakumo. Load Murakumo. Load. Ambush, Demonic, Stealth, Dragon, Homura. I'm sorry. There we go. This is the new Stride unit we saw a few days ago. It's kind of really cool because it's counterblast 2. Choose a face down. Ambush Dragon, Stealth Dragon. From your Jizun, turn it face up. If you the number of face up cards you 2 or more until the end of turn, this unit gets neg drive 1. And at the end of the battle, this unit attack to Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards. And if you do, you may choose 3 of your rear guards with the same name as that unit and return them to your deck. If you return 3 units in this deck this way, stand this unit and shuffle your deck. So it gets the double drive check if you can return 3 units to the deck, basically. I really think that's very easy for Murakumo. They have a lot of cards now that allow you to do that. Super, 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 super good. I really like this card. I think for their mechanic, this is easy. And for a deck that basically runs 12 crit because you search out your cards, it's so good. Like, I really like this. I think this is going to be a great card to see. I think Murakumo, again, is kind of going to be a meta for just a short period of while because people are going to try to play it and figure it out. Anything that restands is always a positive. We always see cards like that do really well. And the other, oh no, we go right into Lingo Trigger. Nebula Dragon, Big Crunch Dragon! Which is basically Captain Crunch! This card is really good in the respect of, it's once per turn, counterblast 1, choose a face down, Nebula Dragon, Big Captain Crunch, blah 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 blah, from your Jizun, turn face up. The number of face up cards in your Jizun is 2 or more. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, lock all your opponent's rear guards in the same column as that unit, and they cannot be unlocked. So it locks units and a mega locks units. Like, for a counterblast 1 and a flip. Like, really good. Like, this is a really good card for them. And, again, their units could probably come unlocked, just because you may use some of your other effects, maybe something else. But it's a really good card to really require, I mean, for just Omega locking. Like, this is actually a really good card for Glendios if you need the backup. So, this is a good card. I really think this is Link Joker's saving grace, because some of their stuff has been somewhat okay, and it hasn't been overly powerful, which most people are like, it needs more power. This is perfect. This is my all-time favorite triple R in the whole set, just because it's the Dark Irregular Stride, and it basically does like 3 things. Once per turn, you take a copy of it, turn it face up, the number card. So you turn a card face up of the same name. Then if your soul is 10 or more, you gain 10,000. Then if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, it also gets this effect. When this unit attacks a Vanguard until the end of the battle, your opponent can call on grade 1s or greater. Then if the number of cards in your Gene Zone is 2 or more, you get an additional crit. So not only do you normally have like a 26, it then becomes 36. And it also gets the ability to have you not guard grade 1s or higher, so you can't perfect guard it. And it gains a crit. Like, late game is really, really good with this card. Like, this card sets up a lot of plays. It's so easy to get their effects off for Dark Irregulars. You'll see a lot of this in the Amon builds. You'll probably see it in their normal stuff just because they're constantly soul charging and constantly getting effects now. I like this card a lot. I think this card is really good. I think Dark Irregulars needed something like this to make them competitive with the rest of the stuff. And again, even like Captain Crunch retiring or locking their stuff, you don't need it. You got a guy who does things on his own. It's a good card. Dark Irregulars is going to be... I don't know. People shouldn't underestimate it. Shouldn't underestimate it. Here we go. We're going to go into double R's. Am I reading this correct? They're giving this guy a SP treatment? I hate when they do this. Like, Shadow Paladins did not need more SPs. It's just the basic undamaged flipper card. Like, kind of cool. I don't wish they would waste SPs on things like that. Give me SP triggers again, folks. Gold Paladin, Holy Mage. This is a double R. Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, if it's boosted, pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Fetch 1 card from them, call it to the rear guard. Pretty basic, but I like that it calls a unit when it attacks, so it helps fill the field. You don't have to call as much from your hand. That's always a plus. Holy Mage again, perfect guard that unflips. Pretty cool, pretty basic. They always get them in this set. Everyone's getting their new unflipping perfect guards. Kagero got a crit. That's a double R, which is interesting. Probably might get SP treatment, but what's its effect? Oh, it goes for I didn't realize this card. When you put this in your soul, when your Vanguard attacks, if your Vanguard with Dragonic Blade Master and its card name, you're gonna pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguard, and then you get 5,000 to the end of turn. I think we'll see something like this for all of them. We've seen this with the big ones that come out of the trial deck, so we'll probably see a crit for the Great Nature and a crit for Thavis. I mean, the way they're going is they're kind of giving all those guys their own, so it'll be really cool. Murakuma Double R, Convert Dragon. Just don't know. This is the Legion unit. I was kind of disappointed in this overall thing. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's so good! It's so good! It gets boost and all this. Sure. I think that's really cool that you can call grade 3s as boosters. But my problem is that they don't have enough Magatsu in their names to really make it effective. Like, yes, you have a ride chain of stuff, 2s, 1s, and 3s. Again, a good retiring deck will take care of this thing really easily, but again, who am I to judge? I haven't played it, I haven't tested it, but again, I really think they could have done something a little bit more. I feel like that card was wasted for that one, Murakumo, so forth. They could have done something else. Murakumo again, grade 3. This is their Generation Break 2 stride card. This is the Generation Break 2 effect. When your rear guard is put in the deck due to an effect from one of your cards, search your deck for one card with the same name as that card, call it to the rear guard, shuffle your deck. Kind of cool. I prefer their late game. Their stride, and their main stride unit the effect is +1 during your turn when your unit G stride. Paying cost, if you do, choose one of your rear guards, shuffle it into your deck for 2 cards with the same name as that unit, call them the separate rear guards, shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, put those units called the effect. So right there, that card does the effect for the stride. During your turn, when your G unit starts, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 2 cards with the same name as that, call them the separate rear guards, shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, put those units, call this effect on the bottom deck in any order. It sets up the stride! Like, that's so good, guys! Like, it automatically sets up for a Restaying Vanguard with little to no effort. Enjoy that awesomeness that'll be going on so quickly and so fast, and you won't even know what's going on. Stalfiend White Heron. I think this is the perfect card. If this is really SP, that's kind of cool. Murakuma deserve more SPs. I will say that, and this is an unflipping one. Of course, I really hope that they get an unflipping perfect card SP. Like, that's awesome. Double R mixed to Leader Chaos. You know, I got to see this card the other day at Monday Night Wars. I don't know how fond of it I really am. There's a lot of setback for this card. Again, someone will probably try to prove me wrong, but I'm just saying what I've seen is place in the Vanguard, you pay the cost, which is Counterblast 2, and you choose 2 cards in your hand, discard them. You do get to delete your opponent's Vanguard, and you do get to choose 2 of their rear guards and lock them. It is a big skill. Like, I think it's a great late game card. I wouldn't personally go crazy onto it, but first turn or anything, but I definitely think it's great, and plus it always hits for 13 on its own. So, I'm not overly fond of it. I got to see it in action. Wasn't super fond of it. Flower blossoming in the vacuum. This is a really weird name. Calamalus. Perfect guard for Link Joker, the unflipping. You'll be seeing this played probably in a lot of Counterblast heavy decks, so we'll see it in Link Jokers, Blaster Jokers. You know, they need that. Older decks will get a little rejuvenation with that. We're almost done, guys, with the doublers and things like that. This is the Dark Irregulars Generation Break 2. Like, it's a double R in the set. Generation Break 2 skill is really good during your turn. If the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, this unit gets 10,000. Then, the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, it gets a critical. So, like, most of the time, you with your Vanguards will be hitting for over 10,000 additional power and always having a crit. Like, it always seems like they're setting up that. It's really good for Dark Irregulars. They really needed that. Then, Counterblast 1 during your turn. When your G unit stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, Soul Charge 2. Choose one of your Vanguards, and until the end of turn, it gets, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more. Your opponent chooses one of his rear guards and retires it. So good for something all you had to do is attack with when you have 6 in the soul. So you're almost set up automatically in this deck. Like, it's really good for that respect, because 6 in the soul is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket for Dark Irregulars. So you're always going to be retiring a unit without even having to counterblast, other than when you stride. And even that's not the hard part. So really, really good. Let's go back. Another vampire. What did I do with this one? Oh, this is. Oh yes, this is a really good one. This is when they. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, you may pay, if it is boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do Soul Charge 2, this unit gets 5,000 until... So basically, whatever you boost, let's just say you make it a 16, it's automatically becoming 21, and it gets Soul Charge 2. Numbers! Oh my god, it hits numbers! Like, Dark Irregulars have just gone stinkingly good. Like, and they fulfill deck requirements. And of course, their double R perfect art on flipping Flag Breaker. It's kind of cool. I think actually Flag Breaker is really cool. Kind of reminds me of Buddy Fight. The motto is "When war is over." When this war is over. Guys, we're about 20 minutes in. I'm gonna try to just go to some of these double the rares and below are just the ones that I feel that are like that I know of just based on names. And I'm really sorry if I miss any ones that you really want to, but we have Witty Revenger, which I think is a great card. Everyone keeps telling me no, but it says when your Vanguard Legion, you pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your Vanguards until the end of turn it gets auto VC. When the unit attacks the Vanguard, you may pay your opponent may choose one of his or her rear guards and retires it. If he or she does not, to the end of battle, your opponent can call cards from your hand to the Guardian Circle. So this with Abyss. Basically, your opponent has to target 2 of their units every time Abyss stands and does something for Counterblast 1. I don't see a disadvantage to that. Especially if you're running the new Unflipping Perfect Guards, you're always going to have Counterblast. In a Dorant Blaster Dark Revenger deck, you're always going to have Counterblast. Like, stop using your Counterblast for, like, Abyss and things. You're going to make them retire those stuff anyway, so this is a good card to have. Like, bravo. Like, Revengers didn't need it, but they got it. There's Liberator, grade 2. It's a rare. It's Bluish Flames, I think. Or, no, maybe it's not. Just Liberator. When this is placed on the rear guard from your deck, you have Vanguard with Liberator as card name until the end of turn gets 2,000. And so you attack hits a Vanguard, choose what card from your damage zone, turn face up. Pretty good because it comes at 11. And it gets done flip damage if it hits. Like, I think that's pretty good for Liberators because, again, they're kind of Counterblast heavy and it goes with a lot of older decks. So, bravo again. This is a crit trigger for the Liberators, which is really good. It also has put in the top of your deck, when it's just placed in the rigor from your deck, pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, search for one card with Bluish Flame in its card name from your hand, or from them and among them, reveal it to your opponent and put it in your hand. So you get a Bluish Flame unit to set up for your Glare skill, and it just all goes off. Like, it's just, and more cards that do effects, the better. Like, this card's really good for a Bluish Flame deck. Like, they're actually going to be more relevant again, which is scary enough. I'm gonna skip over some of these. The guys, there's so much stuff. I'm really sorry that I don't go through all of this, but I'm trying to just find the ones that I really feel like stood out. And David is a good one. He's the new starter. Basically, he acts as 2 units that you can retire when you're retiring rear guards for cost. A good starter for Abyss decks, a good starter for, or not Abyss, yeah, Abyss decks, and good starter for, no, not Abyss decks, because Abyss is Revenger. What's the one I'm looking for? Diablo, yes, Diablo. The Witch Critical is kind of good. They get a little more love, they get a little more balance. This is when you're in, card name is Witch's Legion, put this on the top of your deck. If grade 0, rear guard, your opponent has 2 or more, choose one of your Vanguard, or your opponent's Vanguards, it gets neg. Again, it goes with their thing really nicely, so it makes it even more. Too bad they didn't have every standing Vanguard. I'm sorry, again, I want to wrap this up, guys. I just don't want to keep going, but there are some, Seal Dragon was one of them. I don't remember if this was overly great. It says Counterblast 1 when this unit boosts. You have Vanguard Seal Dragon in his name. Pay cost if you do until the end of battle. All your opponent's units cannot intercept, and the boosted unit gets 2,000 for each of your opponent's grade 2s. I feel that's really good because, you know, you don't have to worry about them intercepting. And again, if they, I don't know, like a lot of grade 2s are always in front now because you want to intercept, and like a lot of decks have to deal with the pressure of that, an extra 4,000 basically is what I would read that as. even if you're on turn 2 and you do that, like, it's so good. It's extra 6,000. Like, it sets up plays. I think it's a great card for Seal Dragons. They need a little more support like that instead of just always calling and counterblasting. I'm going back. We're almost done. I swear. I promise. I don't want to go more. I just need them to go. Internet's slow, guys. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Here we go. Seal Dragon again. They get a critical trigger. This one's, I think, good when this is placed in the rear guard. If you have a Vanguard with Seal Dragon's card name, choose a card from your damage zone for each of your opponent's units and turn it face up. So it helps, fuel the unflip if you have a lot of grade 2s. Again, this can be used at a lot of times. It goes, not a great column maker, but again, you can help unflip for those, getting your counterblast back. Moving right along. There's Hell's Nail. I mean, we've seen a lot of these guys. I wanted to go down here of the Cerebi, the new elemental, which is always, like I always find, is during your turn for each face-up Cray elemental in your GM, this unit gets 1,000. And basically, they're gearing towards you using more Cray elementals, so this is actually not a bad card. Like, like if you do, it's a continuous effect too, which is really good. So you Blizza, you flip another one, you got 2 face-up ones, like, or just all kinds of power can go to these, and it's continuous, like, for your turn, but yeah. Well, guys, that is the set, GB03. Here's a clan breakdown. Shadow Paladin's got 17, Gold Paladin's got 22, Kagero got 11, which I don't even... Mirakumo got 14, Link Joker got 15. Dark Irregulars pulled ahead here with the most, and I think that is actually well-deserved at 23, and Cray Elemental's got 2. It's, again, first set they have 2 generation rares, which we've seen. I feel like this is pretty balanced. Kagero, again, I didn't even think really needed that much. Murakumo didn't get as much love, but I think what they did get was really good. Link Joker, because they got the trial deck, were a little shafted, and people got to look at that as well. It is a balance because they got a whole trial deck of support. Shadow Paladins, they get the Legend deck, they have 17, so it kind of balances as well. So, but guys, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and or subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me more what you want to see. I'm trying to gear to do more things like this. I feel like this set was really good, and we'll be doing more going into the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.